Okay, so the keen-eyed amongst you might notice that my lovely diagrams that I've drawn on here, my little seesaw diagrams are already annotated. And if anyone had any doubts as to whether I was lying about not being very tech savvy, I just stood here talking about metabolic status and how we can have a positive effect on our metabolism through diet, and I hadn't pressed record. Okay, so take two. We talked about creating an anabolic environment through training stimulus. So we talked about breaking the muscles down and creating a need to rebuild those muscles. And once those muscles are rebuilt, having a higher basal metabolic rate. Now, all well and good creating a stimulus and creating this anabolic environment here. Breaking the muscles down, body wants to rebuild. Anabolic, fantastic. If we don't have the building blocks, and by building blocks we refer to protein, as protein is what the body uses then to rebuild and fix those muscles. If we don't have enough, then our body goes into what's called a catabolic environment, which is when we're in a status of breaking down the muscle. So we're actually going to have a detrimental effect on our basal metabolic rate. Okay, so we've created our stimulus through our training, which we talked about in the previous video. We need to make sure that we've got enough building blocks there to rebuild. So our general rule of thumb is we want to be consuming around 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. Okay, so I'm going to break this down on mine. You can obviously do the same equations for yourself. So I'm weighing at the moment, as you saw from my lovely before pictures and my stats before, I'm weighing in at about 90 kilograms at the moment. So therefore I need to be hitting a protein target of around 180 grams. Okay, now, regardless of what we talk about in terms of fine-tuning of diet, eating good fats, making sure we consume our protein at the right times, at the right intervals throughout the day, we can always come back to the same equation, which is here, which is our energy balance. If we're in a calorie surplus, if we've eaten too many calories in, we will gain weight. If we're in a calorie deficit, so we've consumed less calories than we've burnt off, we will be losing body fat, losing weight, sorry. Okay, so our 180 grams of protein that I've worked out that I need to be consuming needs to fit within here. So if we want to really, really simplify our diet down, what we do is we say, right, 180 grams of protein. We'll break that down into regular intervals throughout the day, because once we finish training, our body doesn't just go, right, okay, we finished training, let's rebuild. Your body will be in a process of rebuilding over the course of the day, the week, okay, until our bodies fully fix those muscles. So we want to be taking our protein at regular intervals. We break this down into, let's say, 4 to 5 meals, and we ensure that that is factored into our energy balance. Once we've factored in enough protein into our energy balance, then we can do the simple maths of if we increase our calories, we put on weight, reduce them, and we burn off. There's some good apps out there. So you've got things like MyFitnessPal, where we can start to track our calories. Then what we need to do is if we ascertain a baseline, so if we work out what our calories have been throughout the week, then we know, put that into there, tweak it upwards to gain weight, tweak it down to lose. It's as simple as that. Okay, so we don't need to go into huge amounts of detail in terms of hormonal balance and things like that, insulin sensitivity. Doesn't really matter at this stage. All we need to know is consume enough protein here, fit into our energy balance, make sure that we're not consuming more than we burn off. That way, our training stimulus creates an anabolic environment, we increase our basal metabolic rate, and we go into a calorie deficit. Okay, hopefully not too technical on that front. They've been quite jovial, some of the videos so far, but there are some serious topics that I want to start to tackle. How I developed my alcoholism, how I got into the position in terms of my poor health, and the vices that I succumbed to. So the next couple that I talk about, I'm going to be talking more behaviour change, psychosocial factors, drugs, alcohol, how those came into play for myself on my own journey, and then how we can put strategies in place to try and overcome those. Any questions, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Any questions, please ask, because this is obviously, I've given you a very rough guide when it comes to training in terms of how we split our exercises down. I've given you a rough guide in terms of saying, eat more protein, consume less calories. But if you want to know more and you want to fine tune your diet a little bit more than that, then ask. I will be going into more detail. As I said from the start, I want it to be quite open to start with and just say, right, let's make little changes. Let's exercise more. Let's consume less calories. Let's eat more protein. As we go through, we can refine that and we can fine tune it, and we can start to then look in more detail as to how we can get those little changes that we need further on. So small changes to start with. We'll start to see a positive effect in terms of our weight loss. And then as we go further on, if we want to make more of an impact on that, say our weight loss plateaus. For mine at the moment, I feel I'm moving in the right direction. If it starts to plateau, then we fine tune it more. It's better to start off broad and narrow it down than start off by cutting out everything that we enjoy, being really strict with exercise and our diet. Then we've got nowhere to go if we want to make changes. Okay, so hopefully that was useful. As I said, don't forget to like, don't forget to share, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.